Hi there, I am Sarah Colas. Welcome to the Dressing Up podcast, where we talk about all things bridal, dresses, and general dressing up topics. I love to encourage women to dress up while expressing their personal style with confidence on how to do so. Visit sarahcolas.com to book a bridal alterations fitting or even inquire about designing the custom couture bridal gown of your dreams. I'm so excited to talk to you about this next topic. Let's get started. I feel like we can't start this podcast episode until we talk about the iconic Katie Siebold wedding that all three of us were at. How do we feel about it? Let's recap.
Yeah, so Katie Siebold got married at Shinola at the end of February, and she was a full-service client for me, so we had an incredible vendor team. She did do a lot of her own research and vendor sourcing, but I think through communication and just building those relationships leading into the wedding day, I think it was quite a fun day. She had a powerhouse of women on the vendor team, which I think plays a big part in having a great day too.
Well, she even said that. She's like, I love my all-female vendor team.
Yeah.
She said that a couple times, which is so cute.
Yeah. So we do run the world. So it was great to have.
It's like the one industry where women dominate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah.
So I think we had a great team going into it. Obviously, Katie's personality is so infectious, and she just is a girl's girl, and she brings the vibe. So we love her. It was a great day overall from start to finish. I think she was very adamant about what she wanted. One thing like a little different that people tend to not do anymore is getting ready in their own house, which I think really set the tone for her. She knew that she would be more anxious if she was out in public getting ready. So she chose to be home with her dogs. Good time, start to finish, I think.
How was she to photograph? Because I feel like she was probably really easy because she's so smiley.
Yeah. So I feel like this is interesting too, because I was brought in as like a third shooter for that day. So she technically wasn't my client. But the funny thing is that I actually shot her maid of honor's wedding. So I knew her personally already. So that was kind of like a special touch there. So that way, like when she saw me, she's like, oh my gosh, wait, it's you. Like, so we already had that connection.
That's great.
But she was really easy to photograph, both she and Nick. They kind of just went with the flow of the day. Like you said, she's super smiley. She never was not like squealing in some way about like with excitement. Like she just always had like great energy throughout the whole day. So it made it so easy to photograph her and Nick. Like she's super expressive, and it just honestly made the day so easy and so fun.
Oh, she's amazing. I feel like I might have said this before. I tell this to everybody, but like Katie was so fun, and that I'm helping her get dressed. I don't know who was all there. When she first looked at herself in the mirror in the Shinola hotel room, she was like, oh my God, I look so good. Yeah. Like she was feeling herself. It was amazing. But I would give her compliments as you do with a bride, like, oh my God, Katie, you look so beautiful. Oh, you're so precious. Like, oh my God, you're amazing. And she'd stop and be like, oh my God, no, Sarah, you're amazing. You are beautiful. I'm like, don't you dare tell anyone else that on your wedding day. Take the compliment, absorb it, and be done. Okay? I don't need compliments, but man, did that make me feel good.
Yeah.
It was really cute.
She's so sweet.
She is so sweet.
I feel like she was doing that all day, actually, to every person. If you compliment her, she, like how you said, like, oh my gosh, no, you. Her seeing her bouquet, I don't even think I was there for that, but I think I heard her. And I was like, oh my God, Sam, are you serious? This is the most amazing thing ever. It's like so expressive and like so grateful with every single thing. So
it's always so fun to see a bride that's like genuinely so happy on their wedding day, because we expect that to happen, but it doesn't always happen.
Right.
You know, there's things that go on in the background, and that was just a fun wedding. So
yeah, for sure.
I thought we needed a recap.
I think
there.
even after the fact, because I always with my girls after, and we'll always text each other, and she just always says, I hope everybody gets a chance to feel that beautiful on their wedding day. And every time I cry, she's like, everyone should feel that special on their day. And I'm like, okay, girl, I cry a lot.
So this is Miss Caitlin Bailey. She is the founder of Bunny and June Events, known for intentional, beautifully curated wedding experiences. Say hi, Caitlin.
Hi, everybody.
Wonderful. Okay, I was just scrolling through my phone because I wanted to find our last podcast that Caitlin and I did together with her sister Hannah, who's got a little one on the way.
We're on the final countdown, less than 30 days.
Oh my gosh. So that was episode number 39. If you want to go back and listen to Caitlin and Hannah, that was a really awesome episode. I love the sisters aspect of it, but we really ran through a lot about your business and just about the wedding industry in general. So episode 39, check that out. Okay, and then we have Miss Mikayla Scheibe. She is a wedding film photographer known for capturing emotional, story-driven moments. Love that. Wonderful. I'm so glad you were both here.
Happy to be here.
Let's talk about why we have both of you on the same podcast episode.
Well, I love a duo. First it was my sister, now it's you.
You're like, I'm always going to bring someone with me, okay?
Always have to have emotional support. But I think we really wanted to be here just to really explain to your listeners how important it is to have a solid vendor team and how beneficial it is to have a relationship before your wedding day. So Mikayla and I work very closely hand in hand on the wedding day. And so to already know her personality and her expectation going into the wedding day, I feel like we're able to deliver an overall great experience for our clients from start to finish. So we just want to express all of that to your listeners.
Yes. And also, I think there's probably more than just me in the wedding industry where there are some iconic duos out there. Yeah. In the wedding vendor world. And definitely the two of you work together a lot and you're iconic and you're literal friends in real life. So that's like so stinking cute. And it is so seamless to have vendors that work well together like that because there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, not only before the wedding, but on the wedding day where things just like flow a little bit better because you just kind of know each other well and you know what needs to happen and you play with each other's strengths and it just makes a better experience for the couple.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to start you off with the question I don't want to forget about because this is a question I ask all of my podcast guests. We are on the Dressing Up podcast. I like to talk about weddings, but I also like to just talk about general fashion too, so it's not super boring for our ladies that aren't actually getting married right now, or maybe they just got married. I want to ask Mikayla, what is your favorite item in your closet right now?
Ooh, favorite item.
Now, you're a fashionable lady, so I'm really interested to hear your answer.
Maybe it was like the new trench that I just got that I wore in today.
Beautiful.
I love like a nice light jacket. I feel like typically I'm not like a coat girl or a jacket girl, but I'm trying to kind of integrate that this year just because one, I do love spring and I love fall too. And I just feel like it kind of completes the look when you have like a nice jacket to go with your whole outfit. So that and like light colors, anything light, like as I'm wearing like a light tan shirt right now. When Caitlin picked me up, she was saying, "You look so good in light colors." I'm so sad on wedding days when I can't wear a light color.
Same, girl. Like my whole closet, I can't wear. It's so hard
genuinely
to not wear white on someone's wedding day.
Right.
Very good. And then for those of you that don't know what Mikayla looks like, maybe you're just listening to this podcast, but if you're on YouTube, you got to check out her hair because it is iconic. She is iconic. Like you have the hair I've always wanted in my whole life.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Like literally. Well, I mean, you have like curly hair.
Do you have texture? I feel like you have texture.
Well, I think I kill it with the blonding. But no, I don't have texture. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, a little wave, maybe. It's not pin straight, but you just got what I want. It looks so good.
I'll happily share with you anytime.
Do you have any curly hair tips for the lady?
Oh, that I do have. Good conditioner. I have like a couple different products that I just tell everybody about. And I'm not sponsoring this, but I will say the Color Wow Dream Coat for curls. Immaculate. It's been my favorite for years. Typically for curly hair, we're always told mousse and gel and like all these kind of hard casting products. And I honestly hate those products because I like big fluffy curls. And so I love the Color Wow Dream Coat because it defines my curls without making them really like stiff. Like I don't really have to scrunch out a lot of like stiff product, but it still gives me like the spiral curls that I have. So that is like my number one that I tell everybody about. That with like a bonding leave-in curl cream or like leave-in conditioner, you're set in my opinion. Those are like my top two.
And I feel like you swear by your hairstylist too.
I do. Divine Curl Co. Jacqueline Travis is 100% the best. I have turned on so many curly girls I know, whether it's like brides or other photographers or just other people in the industry. I have sent so many girls her way. She's the best. I literally don't trust anybody else really with my curls. I have two girls that I use and my other friend Ashley, who she does my blonde, and then Jacqueline does my curls. So between the two of them, they keep my hair healthy and they give me the color I want. And I'm just like, I love them both.
Someone has to do your curls. That's a whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So I have somebody to cut my curls and like getting it the right shape for the style that I like. And then I have somebody who does my color.
Well, you're killing it. That's great. That's great.
Want to do a little point out. If you're a curly haired girl, it's okay to have curly hair in your life. You don't have to go straight or blown out and then curled with the curling iron. Embrace the curl because you girls look incredible.
Period. I love that.
I do tell that to girls in the fitting room. If they have curly hair, I'm like, I really hope you're embracing your natural curls on your wedding day.
Yeah. I wish I did do that. I did not
Really?
do that because I just always pictured my hair being like in soft curls on my wedding day. But I also think now if I got married now, it'd be so different because I also didn't have somebody I knew that could style my curly hair. And that's the cool thing about Jacqueline is that she also does wedding hair. So she does curly styles for girls too. And I recommend her for everything. So,
Oh, that's so great. Did you enter the wedding industry as a photographer after or before your wedding?
technically before. So this is actually my 10th year doing weddings, but it was very sporadic. I had a full-time job at that point. I was doing maybe like 1 or 2 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I got married in 2022, that was my first year full time. So I still think of myself as like I was like a baby vendor at that time. Like
We all started as a baby.
Yeah. When I started shooting, I was not well versed in the industry. I wasn't working with other people. I didn't really know anybody else in the industry at that time. So I've come a long way since then, but I will say like 2022 was my first full-time year. So
wow. I feel like 2022 was a big milestone for a lot of us wedding vendors.
yes.
Because it was like, boom, we're all launching our businesses. Like post-COVID, it got real busy. So we all stepped it up.
Yeah.
Held hands and just went for it.
Wasn't that when you also officially launched everything? Was
Yeah,
2022?
I launched late 2021, but my first season was 2022, and that's when we met.
Yeah, we met in 2022. So yeah.
At a wedding.
Yep.
I feel like you guys act like lifelong friends.
Oh,
You do. I didn't know you guys didn't meet till just like a little bit ago.
yeah.
It's crazy that you can meet somebody and have them so involved in your life and like just an adult, me as a person, as an adult. Like she doesn't really know much about my childhood or how I grew up or anything like that. And for her to be so close in my life, I'm very thankful.
Don't make me cry.
You
calm down.
You think weddings make us cry?
Yeah.
Oh man, wow. Okay, so Caitlin,
Yeah.
your favorite item in your closet right now, and it doesn't have to be the same as last time.
Yeah, so I think it probably is the same thing as last time, which was some sort of sweatpants. So
Okay.
that's the wrong answer, but I am going to piggyback off of what Mikayla said, and it is a jacket that I wear quite often in the winter months, and it is my grandmother's fur coat. We love it. I just feel like when I put it on, it's just her, a big hug. Everybody loves it. Everybody is like, oh, where'd you get that jacket from? Like, you wouldn't even believe it. It's real, and it's actually Bunny's, my grandmother's. We love it.
Full
so
circle.
I know. I love it. And I had messaged you. I need to repair it. It needs some love after this past winter season. I might be a little bit more broad than Bunny was, and I might have had a couple blowouts in the back. So I need to stitch that bad boy up.
If any listeners know of a good furrier in Michigan, preferably, DM one of us.
I need some help. I did a little bit of research and I did find somebody in Detroit, but they're closing. Yeah, so I need to find somewhere to get that fixed before winter 2026.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about that too, you didn't talk about how her name is embroidered on the inside of the coat.
Right. So she gave me two pieces of fur. So I have the fur jacket and then I have like this lighter shawl. I don't know if it's a shawl or a scarf. I have no idea. But Mikayla and I went and did a little event in the winter. It was outdoors in the middle of winter, very, very cold. And so I brought every piece of clothing I could possibly find. And I ended up putting this scarf on, which was Bunny's.
Yes.
And we hiked up this big hill and we're taking some pictures. And I put the scarf on and realized it was embroidered on the inside. And it said Bunny Bailey on the inside. And I had never worn it and noticed that it ever said that. So of course I was crying and it was very emotional because I just felt like it was like a little kiss from her. So it was very cute.
It was the sweetest moment.
Okay, it's actually popping into my brain, those photos.
Yeah.
You guys did like a cute little video
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I remember that. I'm like, work it, girl.
Yeah,
You got this.
Us in our vintage furs.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Did she marry into the name Bailey then?
Yes.
So Bunny Bailey. I mean,
yeah.
what a cuter name.
I know. So Bunny was actually her nickname. Her real name is Rosemary.
Okay.
But everybody called her Bunny. So I only know her by Bunny Bailey. We never called her Rosemary.
You know how she got that nickname?
So if I recall correctly, when she was a baby, she was so little that she used to just nuzzle in her babysitter's bosom. Her caretaker would call her Bunny. If I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure that's how she got the name.
And it lasted her entire life. I love that.
Yeah. So she was always Bunny.
The name Bunny, I feel like, is so iconic.
So
like Bunny Bailey.
Right.
Man.
Sounds like a boss.
She does. She just sent me a picture from her grandparents' wedding. and she's like doing a little wink.
Oh,
she's blowing a kiss.
She's like leaning past my grandfather to the camera and like,
She's like, it was so cute. I'll have to show it to you.
Oh, wait, send that to me. I want to see it.
Okay. It's iconic.
Or post it or something.
Okay.
That's cute. So, what makes a vendor team work well together versus just showing up?
What makes a vendor team work well together versus just showing up is truly building the relationship prior to the event day. Yeah, it's easy to just show up, but to be able to see the photographer approaching you on a wedding day and being like, hey, so and so, like, how's everything going? Like, are we ready for this day? What can I help you with? Versus just showing up and be like, oh, are you the photographer? So I think like that pre-communication and just feeling comfortable with that person is very helpful, at least from a coordinator side of things. I'm reaching out, I'm making sure they have diagrams and timelines and making sure they know where they're going and all of that, making sure it works for them. So I think just setting them up for an event day to be successful, I feel like helps the whole day go smoothly.
Anything to add, Mikayla?
I mean, I agree. Like, this is what I live by. And I feel like this is something that vendors are talking about a lot more is communication. And it's like communicating with your clients throughout the process is a big yes. But also when vendors are communicating with each other, I love when I get to collaborate with other vendors leading up to the day. So it's not just like you said, like entering in and we're like, I have no idea who this person is, like knowing what they look like. We've had at least an email exchange going back and forth. So we're on the same page about timeline. We're on the same page about just how the day is supposed to go and what you need from the photographer standpoint as well, or even like videographer, just like how we can serve each other. So that way it's smooth across the board. I think that just makes a huge difference.
I feel like kind of what we're talking about too is for the brides listening, like a new fear unlocked. Which is like when your vendor team doesn't fully get along, which is usually not something you think of as a bride.
Yeah.
And it really isn't your responsibility as a couple to make that happen.
No, it's not.
But if you can naturally make that happen, if you have a wedding vendor that you really, really trust, asking them for their referrals for other vendors is huge. It's always great to not just like blindly hire people from Instagram, but to know for sure that the vendors that you're hiring are good.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. But as a professional in the wedding industry, obviously we should be able to work with anybody without anybody ever knowing that it wasn't the best choice to select those vendors.
Yeah.
But a lot of that pre-communication, ironing out details should make the day go more smoothly, even if it's not your favorite vendor to work with.
Right.
Yeah.
So
right.
As a professional, you still want to do that communication beforehand. And it's not just a coordinator's job. Sorry, guys. Photographers, if you haven't heard from the videographer or if you haven't heard from the coordinator or the venue and you have questions, reach out to them and do that little back work. A couple emails here and there. It's going to make the day so much better for your couple.
100%. You should always be communicating. That's the point about being a vendor. It's also our responsibility to take charge when we need to and to communicate with the vendors that's necessary. We have to communicate just like with our couples. We have to communicate with each other. It will be successful, but it might not be as smooth of a day if we're not communicating and working with each other.
This is so true. Yes. So when people come and pick up their wedding dress from alterations or whatever it may be, she tries on the dress, everything looks good. But I'm like, let's just spend a moment to like coach her up a little bit. So I'm curious, Mikayla, if you have any thoughts on this. Like sometimes I'll teach them like quick little posing techniques, or like you should really make sure you get a photo of this particular thing on your dress because it's really unique and cool. Or just giving them tips like when they're twirling their dress, this is what looks the best if you grab here.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you just want to tell the world of brides as far as like posing, just anything in that category that I just mentioned?
Yeah, no, first of all, I love that you're even like giving them a little coaching lesson,
Okay,
just because
perfect.
the majority of brides, obviously, this is their first wedding. Maybe they've never even been in a wedding before. And even with like certain vendors, I've had couples say, yeah, the last photographer I worked with didn't really give me much direction. And so you're not supposed to know how to do this stuff. If you do, obviously we love that. And I'm all about it. I'll hype you up and just let you do your thing. But just knowing, be confident in yourself. A good photographer should not make you do something super uncomfortable. Obviously, like we might get you out of your comfort zone based on if we think this is a good pose or that, but usually like how I approach a wedding day, I always kind of tap into who the bride is in general. So if she's a little bit more reserved, then maybe we'll do a little less posing and maybe just letting her be, or giving as much direction and guidance as she needs. And that's something that I even ask ahead of time, is just how comfortable are you in front of the camera? What kind of direction are you looking for? And usually like throughout the process, I'll kind of get an idea, especially if we do engagement photos. So when it comes to wedding day and like posing, just know, like, be yourself. You might feel like a little out of sorts. There's so much happening on a wedding day. You're about to marry your best friend. Your mom is running around doing all this stuff and you just want her to relax. Your best friends are doing this. There's so many things going on in your brain. And so when it comes to photos, I just always want my brides to be as present as possible. And I just want them to feel like their best and most beautiful self. So I will always just try to guide you through how we can accomplish the photos you want without making you feel completely different from who you are, if that makes sense.
Oh, that is so good, Mikayla. Good job.
Photographer will guide you through that.
100%.
So if you have a photographer that's just there snapping photos, that's why you kind of have to do your research before you book a photographer too. Because yes, their work can be incredible and they can show anything. Obviously, Instagram's a highlight reel, so they can show whatever they want on Instagram. But to hear that somebody had a great time with this photographer on the wedding day, they were at ease, they felt guided, they loved their work after the fact too. I feel like that's very beneficial. And just to piggyback off what Mikayla said, I do think it's always important for a couple to do their engagement photos with the photographer that's shooting your wedding too, because then you build that relationship prior to the wedding day too, and it just eliminates a level of stress or pressure specifically for a groom. I feel like a groom is always awkward on a wedding day, so to know that you can see her face when he gets there on his wedding day and be like, oh, I already know this girl, like we're good, I would always encourage that too.
It does make a huge difference. I will say, especially when you're talking about the grooms too, I feel like whenever I have done an engagement session, when a groom tells me that he had the best time, I feel like I've done my job right, because I can get along with the girls like no problem. Of course, we're girls being girls, but when the guy feels comfortable with me, that makes me feel like I've actually done my job, because it's also his photos too. And he wants to feel good as well, and he wants to feel seen and valued as well as the bride. So
that is so important that they're vibing with you, because it will literally change all their wedding photos.
Absolutely. I had an engagement session yesterday and they were just saying at the end, they're like, we had such a good time and like, you're so relaxing and like, you put us at ease. And I was telling them like, I love hearing that. That's really good. That's always what I strive for, because like we were already just saying, it makes your photos more genuine and natural. And even she was saying, she's like, yeah, I felt like I could be more vulnerable around you because I felt comfortable with you. And they were both just saying how they had a great time. And so I could see throughout the session from the beginning to the end how they just both slowly opened up and they were able to just like be themselves with each other, and I was just able to capture them.
Oh, that is so good. So I'm curious to see both of your answer to this. Where do you see couples overspending for aesthetics but under investing in experience?
Oh,
Mikayla, go.
Sorry, I have feelings on this. I know this is all controversial because obviously you're wanting to have a beautiful wedding day. You want it to look beautiful. You've had a vision. For most girls, and even some guys, like you've probably had a vision like your whole life about how you want this to look and what you've expected. And so you have expectations for it. I think a big thing I've noticed is a lot of couples will invest in these beautiful venues that it could be like way over their budget. So then they have to scale back on the vendors that they choose for their day. And that is unfortunate to me, because if you have like such a beautiful wedding and you're in a gorgeous dress and you like are having this great experience with your friends, but your vendors aren't matching that, it can make the day even more stressful. It can end up putting negative connotations on your wedding day. If like, let's say I'll use photo, for example, if you end up hiring somebody who's maybe only shot maybe like 2 weddings, or I don't know, like just depending on their expertise and their experience, maybe they're lacking in certain areas. Maybe the editing style wasn't quite what you had in mind, or maybe you had higher expectations for them and then they ended up letting you down, just because unfortunately that is a part of how things can go sometimes. And so that can end up almost ruining the entire thing for you in the end, because what you have at the end of the day are those photos and those videos. Like those are what help you remember the day. Like you can obviously remember like key things in your mind, but you're going to glean from those photos and those videos afterwards. So if you're not hiring more experienced vendors, it could just end up being a letdown in the end for you.
I think it's time. Everybody has a budget, right? And we respect that 100%. But to think of adding an hour for photo or an hour for video, or maybe investing in one more person for hair and makeup, so that you don't feel as stressed and pressured throughout the day, it makes a world of difference. Like I know when you're sitting down 6 months beforehand or even a month beforehand and you're like, oh, I can save $500 on photo and video if I don't add an hour, then you're rushed and pressured to get things done and it doesn't happen as naturally as you want it to. So it sounds like such a silly investment and like, yeah, you can do without, but it truly makes a world of difference if you just add a little extra time on your timelines. I'm all about a good timeline. I stand by my timelines. My timelines stand true to what's about to happen. And so as a coordinator, I would rather not invest in a lavish seating chart and get an extra hour for photo or video or hair and makeup from a coordinator standpoint.
Don't have to tell me twice. I feel like I get asked a lot, like, oh, how much should this vendor cost? Or just like chit-chatting with the mom while the bride's changing and talking about different things. I'm like, listen, I am extremely biased, okay? I will tell you to keep spending more and more and more and more money.
Yeah.
Which is so great because, and I genuinely like feel that way. It's hard to not encourage you to make the most of this huge life event that you have coming up. But I would say, honestly, my number one things would be what the two of you do. I am a very sentimental person, so like photography is always like priority. Why have gorgeous flowers if you're not going to take photos of them?
100%.
So like what's the point? Like, oh, real life experiences. I mean, 100%. Yes, you're gonna get that, but you got to document it.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, sure.
Well, even like I'm thinking about what you do, Sarah, because in the end, like weddings are a luxury. Obviously, you can get married and it doesn't have to cost you as much as like a full wedding experience does. But even when I think about Sarah and how valuable Sarah's services are, in case you guys don't know, which I'm sure you do, Sarah will come and get you ready. She will come and steam your dresses. She will literally get you in your dress. She'll do fluffing. She'll show you how to properly bustle. Like there's so many things that she does.
You want to go to the bathroom? Take me with you.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I feel like that's even like something that can be undervalued because people are like, I didn't think I needed somebody. But I mean, of course, they don't need to have you there. They don't need to have me there, but they would benefit so much more from having somebody like you there to help them. It's like a little thing they didn't know they needed until they had you. Like going back to Katie, she was obsessed with you. She loved having you there. Like when I came in to do details, Sarah's already in there in her high heels and she's like steaming everything and getting everything ready. And I'm like, this is just so nice. She already had the dress set up for the photographer to take photos. It was just so nice.
Oh, thank you, Mikayla. People think I'm there for the dresses, but I feel like I'm actually there for the bride's mental health.
Yes.
I'm like, I'll help you. What do you need?
I think it's definitely a service that one, people don't know exists. And I think it's so beneficial. Again, I'm all about how stress-free the day is going to be, obviously, as a coordinator. So to have you come in and even help that bride on the front end of things, because yeah, there are coordinators that are with the bride all day long from start to finish because they have a team that's monitoring the venue and that whatnot. Unfortunately, that's not a service that I provide at this time. So to know that you're able to be there to help her get in, to answer any of her dress questions, and let's be real, I don't know a lot about dresses. I know a lot about events. So to have you come in, the professional, and be able to help her through that and take that stress off her plate, I think is such a nice.
I am so glad.
Such a nice thing.
So for those that don't know, we're talking about my day of styling service. That's what I called it. It's like a whole unique thing that I didn't know what to call it. So I just made that up. I take care of the dresses, but I also always tell the brides that are thinking about it, I'm like, I basically become your personal assistant for the rest of the day. But I also feel like I'm just like a little assistant for every vendor too. I'm the little photography assistant because I'm going to go over there and fluff her dress real quick. You tell me where to put it. And like helping with the coordinator, like I'm often texting with the coordinator, like, oh, the groom will be there in 5 minutes or so-and-so is coming, you know, like, so I'm working on the back end with all of the vendors as well. So that just helps everything run smoothly. So thank you both for those kind words. Wonderful.
I feel like that actually ties back into like the right vendor team though, because I don't think Katie would have known about Sarah had Caitlin not recommended her for that service, correct?
Yeah, correct. She's actually my first bride. She asked a couple weeks before. I mean, she only booked like maybe 3 weeks before.
Yeah, people often book me like pretty last minute.
Yeah. She wanted someone to come in and just steam her dress. And I was like, oh, Sarah offers day of options. And I didn't even know that your package was so incredible. Like you did all of the mother, the bride, you did so many dresses. You were cutting tags and strings and you had them airing outside on the balcony. Like you were there, like the girls walked in, all they had to do was get in their dress. They did not have to stress about a thing. You had everybody's lined up with their correct hangers. And like, it was just such a dream and such a great experience for all of those girls, truly, which I didn't even really know it was so elaborate. So,
oh, thank
such
you.
a blessing.
Yeah. And I feel like with a lot of vendors too, and obviously wedding photographers have been a thing for a long time. Wedding coordinators, I feel like, are still like on the newer side of things. Mm-hmm. And people can often ask, like with my services, or hopefully not so much a coordinator anymore, but some of these like additional wedding vendors, it's always like, oh, but do you need that? Like, do you really need that? I always say, no, you don't need it. Sure. You really don't, but it's a really nice thing to have. Mm-hmm. You know, you're spending a lot on your wedding overall. It's just a nice investment in yourself. I actually had a bride recently that was telling me, apparently I was talking to her about it at the first fitting, like, oh, you should really have a coordinator. Like, I'm shocked you don't. Like, she was just giving very like big sister energy. I'm like, you need to do this for yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, and then she did come back the second fitting. She's like, Sarah, I hired a coordinator. Okay. I was thinking about you. And I'm like, you know what? I'm investing in myself. This isn't just about my wedding. I'm doing this for me.
Yeah,
I love that.
Right? Yes, you could do it yourself, but do you want to?
Right.
No. You want to be present.
No.
You want to be able to relax on your wedding day instead of answering all those questions from people.
Truly, truly. And also like letting your mom or your dad or like your best friend also be present and just being able to be there for you that day and not being like, oh, I have to go set up the tables. I have to go do this. Like, let somebody else do it.
Invest in your vendors.
Yes.
Absolutely. So what's something that couples don't think to ask when hiring planners or their photo video team?
So something that I really want to talk about that I encourage all of my couples to think about when they're hiring their photo video content team as a coordinator is, what is the turnaround time? Because this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Obviously, I think on average it's like 3 to 4 months for photo to come back, and I feel like that's a great turnaround time. I mean, every photographer is different, so let me start by saying that, but it should be stated in your contract what your turnaround time is. You get so excited after your wedding to see those photos, to see the video, to see all of that work. So when it starts becoming 6 or 7 or 8 months that you're not getting your content, your video, your photos back, I feel like the joy in that experience with photo and video kind of dwindles down. Like at that point, you don't really care. Some brides are pregnant by then. Like they've moved on. They're in a different chapter in life at that point, and now you're just receiving your wedding video or your wedding photos, and it's like, whatever. So I think one thing to think about, or one thing to ask when you're hiring outside vendors, is what the turnaround time is for things like that. Because it sounds so silly, and you're like, I don't care, I love her work. That is really great, but just think about after the wedding day, how long it's going to take for you to get those photos back.
When somebody's like, oh, I don't care, I love their work, you will care. You will 100% care once everything's said and done, and you're like, where's my content? Where's my photos? Where are my video? Like, or where are my photos? Where is my video? Like that unfortunately happened to me actually. So I think about that and like,
oh
yeah, like I got my stuff like very late. Both my photographer and my videographer did not hold up what they said in their agreements and their contracts about when the turnaround time would be. So I can say with 100%, I feel that personally as a past bride, which is also why I like to stay true to my turnaround time in my contract. And I actually tell them slightly longer period in case it goes that long. I try to get it to them even sooner because I know what that feels like.
The older I get and the deeper I get into the wedding industry, especially, is it's actually shocking how often people don't do what they say they're going to do.
Yes.
It's like those words came out of your mouth. You told me you were going to do that.
Yes.
And then it didn't happen. It's shocking. So good vendors like us, we hold true to our word. We have contracts, but we uphold them.
Yes.
And it's crazy how often that doesn't actually happen. So it's important. Curious, Mikayla, as a wedding photographer, does the expected turnaround time for your wedding photography vary depending on the season of the year that you get married?
Ooh, that is a good question. And yeah, I guess the answer is yes, because full transparency, in my contract, it states that your photos will be delivered at the absolute latest 12 weeks. I never like to go that long because, like Caitlin was saying, like you're excited, eventually that excitement dwindles if you wait too long. So I usually try to deliver around 8 weeks. And depending on the time of the year and depending on like how many weddings I have, like last year I had like a 10-week stint of like wedding. So I did go to exactly 10 weeks, which I did not like because it just felt like that was even just a little too long for my liking. But I was still like holding true to what my contract said. And also all my brides then knew that I had a wedding every single weekend. But during the slower season, like winter or even like spring, my last wedding that I had, I delivered the photos within 4 weeks because I only really had one thing to edit, which was nice. So I was able to take my time, but also still got them turned around by their 1 month anniversary.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like every photographer is different too. But one thing I always want to circle back on is you want to make sure that it's written in the contract so that you have in writing when you can expect those things.
100%.
It's so nice when you get delivered super early, but some photographers outsource their editing. So they can shoot X, Y, and Z amount of weddings, send over their editing to somebody else, and still have their mental health intact and get a turnaround time that is reasonable. So every photographer is different.
Yeah.
But it is just so important to have it listed in the contract so you know what you can expect.
Absolutely. I've had friends who say that, yeah, I've outsourced and I'll get it back to them in 2 weeks. Or I have some friends who also just edit themselves. They're like, I really just want to do it quickly, so I get them done fast. Mm-hmm. And then there's some that take their time. Some are parents. Some have like full-time jobs on top of shooting weddings. So it kind of just does vary. But industry standard technically is like a max of 12 weeks. Some go all the way till that point. Others go earlier. But I feel like that is like the max that I know kind of across the board. Mm-hmm. So if anybody's delivering photos later than 12 weeks, that's bad business. And I will say that with my chest.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so I want to talk about after the wedding a little bit. Between the two of you, I don't know how much you really talk to your couples after the wedding. I know I don't talk to my brides as much as I would love to. I do get some of them on the podcast, the way I really get to hash things out with them. What do you hear couples say they wish they had done differently?
For me, oftentimes that they wish they had me for full service coordination, because obviously the day went smoothly and it was perfect and we're still yapping about it after the fact. But if she knew she could have eliminated so much stress or have a wedding bestie throughout the whole process to make it more fun and enjoyable for her, I do hear that quite often. And then my full service brides that we talk all the time 24/7, I think they just wish that they could get married
again. Let's do it again. It was so much fun.
Exactly. Because they were stress-free and they enjoyed the planning process, which is my number one goal always. It's such a short chapter of your life. I want it to be fun and enjoyable for you as much as possible. Obviously, there are stressors, but I want to take that stress off your plate. So let's do it again.
I think for me, it's either I have had people say that they wish they booked me or somebody else, which is unfortunate to hear. But I also think similarly that they wish they had me for more hours, or they wish that they got the photographer they wanted. They wish that they ended up getting the videographer as well, or even like getting content, like just wishing that they had just a little bit more of something to look back on. I feel like that's what I kind of hear the most.
And oftentimes for my day off, they wish they knew more about X, Y, and Z vendor, whether it be the venue, the bakery, whatever it is, just that they did a little more research and didn't just go for what was the most affordable in that moment, because maybe it added that additional stress to her plate in the planning process, whereas she would have done a little more research, found a little bit more experienced, seasoned vendor. It would have been easier for her.
This is all really good insight, ladies. Thank you so much. Something that I'm really feel like is a good topic with the two of you is just the vendor team in general, and about how you two work together a lot. And it's so great. And why is it so important for the vendor team to be so connected and to have such a teamwork atmosphere?
Well, a little backstory. Mikayla and I actually met at a wedding. So we did not know each other until a mother of the bride actually booked us both. Never met the bride before the wedding day. And we were both little babies in the industry back then in 2022. And I feel like from that moment, we just bonded. I don't know. I think we just jumped right in. We loved each other. And so since then, I feel like we have built a duo that people see online and offline. And they're just like, those girls have it together. They have a good time. They vibe off of each other. They create incredible things. We like to do a lot of editorial stuff together so that it can show our creative sides for both things. And so we've really built a clientele too that love that and like want to see us together. And I think it is important to have a vendor team that really vibes. I guess it's not that important, but it does add an extra level of secureness heading into the wedding day, because Mikayla feels comfortable enough coming to me even before the wedding day and saying, hey, this timeline, I can tell like this client is going to need a little more time here, or like the design is so great, I want to do more bridal shots in here. So like, can we adjust the timeline? We've been talking about, we have a client in September of this year. We've been talking about her timeline for a year.
Yeah.
So I can bounce like design aspects off of her and see if she wants, extra time or what her thought is with shooting this design and that type of thing. So I think going into it, she feels more comfortable with me and asking for things. And I want to make sure that she's able to be creative in the process too, and that we're going to provide the best experience for the couple because we have that connection together.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree because we are able to collaborate ahead of time. Whereas obviously, like, I love working with new people too, but I favor working with you because one, yeah, we're besties. So like that's a bonus, but also that we do have that rapport where you can like text me like, hey, can you look at this timeline and tell me if like you need more time for this or how is this going to work for what you need? And then I'll put my notes in there and I don't feel like uncomfortable giving my opinion because there's no like power struggle. I feel like sometimes there is really a power struggle between vendors who don't know each other and maybe just like don't even know how the other operates. And it becomes a thing where it's like, well, this is my timeline. Well, this is my, it's like, first of all, it's not about us. And we need to stop looking inward and we have to look at the full experience for the couple. And so because you and I already work together a lot, it gives us the opportunity to look at the grand scheme of things and knowing like at the broader view what the couple needs based on how you want to serve them, based on how I want to serve them. And even like I think about our wedding in February together, our bride, first of all, shout out to Joe. Love her so much. We love and miss you.
And you did Joe dress.
Joe, yeah, but you did, yeah.
Jess, love her.
But like with that, she loved that all of us knew each other. She's like, I love that I ended up constructing this team of vendors who all kind of knew each other already. Everybody's vibing. Shout out to Casey, our DJ, the best. Like we all got along well. Like Bree from Sprouts for content. The only person we didn't know was a videographer and he fit right in with us. Yeah. He was great. It just created like a day where we were all just vibing. Yeah. We were all getting our stuff done. Even shout out to you too for this because we were at a venue where there was a very, very quick turnaround time and room flip between ceremony and reception. And I wish there was like video of this because Caitlin is busting her butt, flipping the space. Everybody's down on the lower level for cocktail hour. All of the vendors, we're lighting candles. We're putting linens on the tables. Like the DJ was helping. I was helping. My second photographer was helping. We were all doing this stuff because we were all friends. Yeah. I can't say that like a vendor team would do that for people they don't know, unless like you're vibing throughout the day and like you're like, I want to help, but that's just not very common. And we all just pitched in to help each other for one, because we love you, but two, we also did that because we love Joe and Patrick. Yeah. So I feel like that alone is like a good representation of why it's important to have like a solid vendor team.
Yeah, I think we know each other's strengths and we know specifically you and I, like working on a wedding day together. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, I'm always there to be like, okay, how are we going? Like, I know before you even have to bring it to me, which is really nice. And I know where to grab or move or change or redirect. Like, we just have each other. And that was very beneficial on that wedding day. Like you said, we were all friends. We all knew each other. And I never had to ask any of you to jump in to help with that tight turnaround. Casey just grabbed lighters and started lighting candles. You guys were moving tables. Like, you just could see that our timeline was tight and you just jumped in, which is such a benefit when you have a vendor team like that.
Yeah. When you have a vendor team like that just like gets along so well, like teamwork, you are even friends. It is so much more fun for the couple, I think. Brides like Joe Marie and Katie, they love seeing their vendors having fun.
Yes.
And it's so much easier to have fun when you like your vendors and you vibe and you've been friends and or instant friends, whatever it is. But I think that's especially fun for the couple to see everyone around them having a good time, which is really comforting for them to see.
100%.
Where do you want couples to go first if they're interested in learning more about either of you? And then can you give us the spelling on those things?
Oh, sure. So my website, I have all of my inquiries go through my website. So that's Bunny and June Events, BUNNYAND.
Events.
Yep, Bunny and June Events. BUNYANDJUNEVENTS.com.
Your coordinator does know how to spell. It's okay.
I don't know why that made me nervous. He was like, wait, how do I spell my name?
Oh God. This is the hard question. This is the hardest question I've asked you all day.
Make the spell. Same thing for mine. We can go to my website, which is MikaylaScheibe.com. So MikaylaScheibe.com. CEIBE.com.
You know, you guys can find him on Instagram too, of course.
For
so
sure.
fabulous. Okay, are we ready
Yes.
for the rapid
Ready.
fire? Okay, first look or aisle reveal?
I'll reveal.
Oh, I do like both. I think it depends on the couple.
I think it depends on the venue and the season of year.
Yes.
Does
Fair.
it change
Okay.
things? Okay, so no answer from Mikayla.
Indifferent. I like
Indifferent. Detailed decor or minimal styling?
Detailed decor.
detailed decor.
I know it's kind of like a maximalism moment in weddings right now, and I love it. Outfit change for the bride.
No.
Yes.
For yourselves, how about that? Outfit change as a vendor. Do you ever
Yes.
change outfits?
Yes.
I have. Well, I've changed my shoes.
Yeah.
I changed out of my nice shoes to my tennis shoes.
Okay, cool. Live band or DJ?
DJ.
This is hard because I'm the daughter of a musician.
Ooh,
So
you're torn.
I do like both for different reasons, but rapid fire, so I'll just say that I like both.
Okay, big wedding or intimate celebration?
Intimate celebration.
Intimate celebration.
Me too. Strict timeline or flexible
Strict
flow?
timeline.
From the coordinator. Yeah.
You know, I will say strict timeline too. I was gonna say
Okay.
flow, but
No.
There can be that extra 5 minutes of flow in
Yeah.
between each of the things.
Yeah,
right?
I buffer my timelines accordingly. So
That's
I'm
why I
not
said
like
that.
7:32 cut the cake, but like
Yeah.
we are gonna start dinner on time. So
Yes.
that's
Somebody's got to make it
Yes.
happen.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
like the creatives here are just gonna be like, all over
Yeah.
the place. No, we got to keep us in line, Caitlin.
Focus.
Okay. One piece of advice in just a few words.
So I think mine would be it's all about your love. All the other stuff is just added extra bonus. But like at the end of the day, you're going home with your husband or your wife, and that's all that matters. All the extra commentary, all the extra opinions, whatever you want to do, let's just do it because at the end of the day, you and your husband are going home, or you and your wife are going home.
Yeah.
Together.
Mine would be it's your wedding. Don't let family members and friends determine how your day is going to go because it's your day, not theirs.
Easier said than done, we realize.
Yes.
But do the best you can.
Try hard.
Just try. Stand up for yourself. Fantastic. Okay. Yay. Thank you two so much for being here and
Thanks for
being on the
having me.
podcast. Yay. Wonderful. Okay. So for those of you that have made it all the way to the end of this episode, we love you so much. And we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode has allowed you to approach the world with greater confidence in your own personal style. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out through email or the inquiry form on the website. I hope you are all ready to go and get dressed up. I look forward to sharing more dressing up tips with you in future episodes. Thanks so much.